Hey guys, so welcome to the video that I think a lot of us were waiting for. This time we'll be covering a wonderful athlete as well as an undisputed athlete as well. We're talking about no one other than Shaunae Miller-Uibo of the Bahamas. Shaunae Miller-Uibo was born on April 15, 1994, which makes her exactly 27 years old. Now, Shaunae Miller is not new to the spotlight before. Now, she did recently finish at the Tokyo Games, which now we're going to go look back on all her accomplishments so far that she has made together. So, her Olympic debut started in London 2012, and basically, her first few heats she ran, she had an injury and she had to be kicked out of the heat. Now, that did not stop Shaunae Miller-Uibo. Now, from years on, she has started training very hard as well as competing with the best. I think that some of her race as well as her rivalry, if you could see here, we saw that back in London. I think the first year or second heat she got dropped out. She was really running hard, but she had an injury, so she had to force to come out of the race because it was kind of messed up for her first debut. But that did not stop Shaunae Miller. We flash forward 3 years ago after the London Games, and we saw Shaunae Miller came back with a new drive, a new inspiration to go further in the world of the track and field. We started seeing her more evolve into the person we see her today. At the 2015 World IAAF Championship, Shaunae Miller came back yet again, but the obstacle she had was Allyson Felix, which was running wonderful that year. And this is what happened. Let's check the video out. And once the gun broke off, it was all break loose. We saw that Allyson automatically, from the gun went off, Allyson went extremely crazy with that curve on the 400 at the World Championship. Shaunae Miller was always behind Allyson Felix, and we could have seen that her stride and her strength from the 400 started evolving. But this year at the World Championship, the gold medal belonged to Allyson Felix by coming out with a personal best of 49.26, whereas behind Allyson was Shaunae Miller-Uibo, which of 49.67. So automatically we saw that the evolution of Shaunae Miller has begun. So after coming silver behind Allyson Felix at the World Championship, we saw that her next focus was to get into the 2016 Rio Olympics. Now, her focus, she said, was that to at least get a gold medal at the Rio 2016. And then behind on Shaunae Miller and Allyson was Shericka Jackson, who always maintained a good form as well as a good finish. Now we flash forward a couple of a year later, and we at the Olympic Games of Rio 2016, and yet again the meet between Shaunae Miller as well as Allyson begun. We saw that Allyson was the favorite coming into the 2016 games. She ran a PB of 49.67 coming into the 2016, and then Shaunae Miller started running as well. So as they got to the actual race, for stride by stride, Shaunae Miller was in lane 9, whereas Felix, I think she was in lane 5 during the relay. And automatically, at 22 years old, Shaunae Miller lined up at the 2016 final, and the person that was her obstacle was Allison Felix yet again. Now they met at the World Championship, but this was at a bigger stage at the Olympics. So automatically we saw that Shaunae Miller got out very quickly, knowing that she was in lane 8 and Allison was in lane probably 5 or 4. So we saw that how quickly Allison got out and started making up the stagger. But as we got to the close to the end, Shaunae Miller got so heavy and dizzy from running very fast, her legs started giving out, which gave us this iconic dive that we all saw at the 2016. Now, if she wouldn't dive, she would have came in second place behind Allison, but she ran at 49.44. and Allison ran a 49.51, and then Shericka Jackson closed the deal. Now, this was a dream come true for Shaunae Miller, because the dream that she was searching for, she got it, because she won the Olympic medal in the 400 meters, beating out Allison Felix with that historic dive. Now, this would not be the last time Shaunae Miller versus Allison. I always feel as if their rivalry is very friendly, because they bring out the best out of each other, especially in the 400 meters. Now, Shaunae Miller's elegant stride and patterns sometimes always match with Allison because of how smooth they both run. Now, Shaunae Miller, after winning that historic medal for the Bahamas country, we started seeing that Shaunae Miller started training even more. She started realizing that, she has to train hard to maintain her speed, because one of the problems she had is that she gets very tired from running very fast. So for the past few weeks and months, she started training harder. So the upcoming year after was the 2017. She was planning on basically doing a double, which will be the 200 meters and 400 meters at the next year's World Championship in 2017. After winning the Rio 2016 as Olympic champion, she did a couple of Diamond Leagues here and there, but then her real focus started when she basically planned to run those 2 doubles at the World Championship that year. So we reached 2017, and the first meet that she had, she won a bronze behind Skippers and Ahure, and then Talu, Skippers, and Shaunae won a bronze. Now, after winning that bronze, she came back to the 400, which was just a crazy, I remember that. She did a very good job as she can, but ended up going 4th, and we could check the video out as well. So you could see that from the start, we introduced each of the athletes that was running for the 2017, and we knew that the 2 person that we was looking out for was Allison Felix, as well as this newcomer, which named Sawa D. Nasser, as well as I think Shericka Jackson was there as well. Now, prior to everybody introducing themselves, the main obstacle yet again, it was the 3rd or probably 4th rematch they had, and we saw that it's gonna be Allison Felix yet again versus Shaunae. But this race was a big surprise of who won, because the 2 person that a lot of people were planning to win did not, either they were so focused on how they both were gonna get out to catch each other, and I think they put too much running forward until they got to like the midway in the 400, which is the back stretch. So we saw that Shaunae Miller, from running very fast and getting to the position to get closer to the second half, eventually she got really tired, and that's probably the main thing that a lot of athletes have to deal with, because you're running very fast and you may pull a muscle or pull something before anything else. And then mind you that the weather, sometimes the weather could be something that affects you as well. So the race that day, I think it was raining, like you guys could see, and they had to run all around the track, and it was a bit cold too. So the fact that sometimes you have to take all these things into factor, that these things sometimes could affect you as an athlete, you know. That's why it's good to keep yourself warm and, you know, stretch properly before running a long race, especially how fast you're going to be going. Now we saw that Allison was getting ready. Shaunae Miller is in lane 7, and I think Allison is in lane 5 or 6. Yes, so I'm right. So Allison was in lane 5, and Shaunae was in lane 7. So the only thing that separated them was one athlete in the middle between both of them. But if you think about it, running the 400, everybody was an even neck to neck. So we had Phyllis Francis, we had Sawadi Nasser, we had the other, I forgot the other two athletes, but we had an African athlete as well. So we had Sharika Jackson as well, which I'm not sure which lane she was, if I'm not mistaken. She was probably in lane 2. And then we saw how quickly the race, and the scary thing sometimes about 400 is, like, depending on how fast or how slow you're going, you should never let the other athlete get away from you. You could always have at least someone in your near sight, so that way when it's time to actually get there, you can actually catch up to make up the stagger. Now, the person that ran the fastest time that year, opening up the July 9, 2017, was Allison with a 49.65, you know. So automatically, this was the lineup. We had Sharika, Lovely Williams Mills, Sawadi Nasser, Allison, Phyllis Francis, Shaunae Miller, Stephanie Emerson, and Kaburo. So it was 3 Jamaicans, 2 Americans, 1 Bahamian. So we know this race was gonna be crazy, you know. So introducing each athlete. So she was from Zambia. Kampopo was from Zambia. We had McPherson. And mind you, each person qualified with a good time, sub 50. Shaunae Miller ran a sub 50 as well for the semifinal with a 50.36. We had Phyllis Francis. And then we also had Allison Felix with her personal best, which then made her had 9 World Championship titles. And then we had Sawadi Nasser. And then lastly we had Lovely Willis Mills. And then Sharika Jackson takes lane 2. So this race was very stagnant. You know, they had so many people for each lane that it was a very tough field. But we knew that everybody brought their A game. But, you know, we had at least 3 or 2 athletes that were head above the rest when it comes to that race. On top of that, like I told you, the weather sometimes may affect you of how your concentration is. So automatically, the race went down just like this. So we knew Shaunae Miller was about to go out very fast, knowing that she's in lane 7, so she's almost blind. The only person that she has on her right side would be Kapopo from Zambia, and then 2 step down we had Allison, which was in lane 5. So when the gun went off, we saw So automatically the gun went off. Shaunae Miller got out very quickly, and then Allison got out very quickly as well. Very, very quickly. Just to catch. She already caught up to Phyllis Francis just to get to Shaunae, but Shaunae Miller was already out very, very quickly. And that shows her elegant speed as well as her endurance in the speed. Now, if she would have not stumbled or pull anything, she would have got away with it and won a gold, you know. So we could see that Shaunae was getting closer and closer as she got to the second half. We saw that the person that were behind them were Phyllis Francis as well as Sawa, and then Shaunae either stumbled, something happened, and then the lineup changed, so it was down to Phyllis Francis 1 second. Phyllis Francis won first with 49.59. Sawa 1 second, and Allison took the third, and Shaunae finished with fourth. Which, if she didn't stumble, like I said, she would have definitely won the medal. So this was a big shock and surprise of who won, but no credit there to let's not take credit to Phyllis Francis. She is also a very good athlete as well. So after Shaunae Miller got at least fourth at that World Championship 2017, she basically did some relays as well, if I'm not mistaken. Then I could also compare her to someone named Mary Jose Perec, because she has won in Atlanta 2 times at the World Champion, as well as she is the only athlete who defended her gold at the Olympics. Now, Mary Jose also have the Olympic record, which is a 48.25. Now, that was broken by Nasser, but due to the fact of the ban, she had to basically pull. But over time, we saw that at the next World Championship, we saw Shaunae Miller grew into a phenomenal athlete. So if you think of that Perec, she has that very elegant style. So I sometimes compare her to Shaunae Miller. I compare Shaunae Miller to her because of their tall stature as well as their elegant stride. Now, prior to heading to the next World Championship, at the 2019, we skipped a year, but we headed to the 2019 IAAF World Championship, but it was going to be in Doha, Qatar. We saw that Shaunae Miller was definitely the headliner heading to there. Now that Allison was coming back, but her focus was running, I think, the relay, as well as the mix 4x1, as well as I think the 4x4 she also did too. But Shaunae Miller also, you know, at that time had a new PB, and then coming off from, I think, running the other events, she definitely came in second behind Nasser, because Nasser at that time, we thought that she beat the Olympic record, and then from then on we saw that Shaunae Miller came with a personal best of 48.37, and then that closed out the year because she basically got missed out yet again by second yet again. So after winning and getting personal best, and she became the 6th fastest 400 runner ever, we saw that she is some of the few athletes to run sub 48s as well as sub 49s. She has a lot of sub 49s as well as 2 sub 48s. We flash forward to the Olympic Games and Tokyo. Now, due to the COVID-19, the Olympics was postponed till 2021. But after that, we saw yet again Shaunae came to the Eugene, Oregon at Hayward Field. She ran a 49 flat, thus beating what's her name, Sonia Richards Ross time, and then from then we didn't hear about her yet again. Now, Shaunae did compete at 2 events this year at the Tokyo Games. She competed in the 200 as well as the 400. Now, due to her crazy antics that went down at the 200, where Elaine Thompson won with a 21:53, Shaunae Miller was like, her best bet was to come back to the 400 yet again to see if she could at least medal for a second time. Now, automatically we saw that her time, as she started getting to the final as well as semifinal, her semifinal time I think was a 49:60. And then when we saw the actual race goes off, we saw definitely that Shaunae Miller had a focus to at least leave the pack to run for the head of the rest. So in the race we had Allison Felix, Shaunae Miller. We had this new face which is called Paulino from the Dominican Republic. We had Stephanie Ennis-Fersen, which also ran a very good person. A lot of people ran their personal best in the semifinals, but as the stage went in and out, we saw that Shaunae Miller came supreme. She reigned supreme in the race. She won first place with a 48.36, and then behind her was Paulino, and then Allison was able to edge out McPherson to win the bronze medal, thus making her have 10 medals this year. And then winning the relay made her have at least 11th, which made her more decorative than Carl Lewis. Now, Shaunae Miller, after winning the medal, that doesn't take away what she has done. She is now 2-time gold medalist in the 400, which means there's only one person that has done that, which is Mary Jose Perec, who won a back-to-back medal. So she is some of the few selected people that are able to do that. She is also a 2-time World Championship silver medalist, as well as a 1-time World Championship bronze medalist, and then a World Indoor Champion, the bronze medalist as well. So she has a lot of accolades so far. I could say that one day we might start seeing her being compared to Allison Felix if she ever decides to run the 200 more as well as 400, and I could also see her run the 100 as well. But as long as she gets stronger, I think that she's able to push further on if she ever decides that too. Like I said, Shaunae Miller is one of those athletes that I am basically in love with how she compose herself and how she strategize how to race people. Another thing I realized about the Bahamian country is that they have a very good team when it comes to 400 people. They had Stephen Gardner, who won the gold for the Tokyo Games this year, which is surprising because not a lot of American athletes came after that. Now we saw that Shaunae Miller has at least 3 consecutive Olympics under her belt. First winning at the 2016 and now 2021. Now that the World Championship is coming for next year, God knows to see what she has in store for us. But I think she is the best out here, and I can't wait to see what she's gonna do. Like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.